Good morning and welcome to the Mancunian way. Aston Villa 1, Manchester City 1 post-match. Morning, Rich.
Good afternoon or evening here.
Oh,
How are
you're
you?
in the evening, aren't you?
I certainly am.
Happy Father's Day. If you didn't know, it's Father's Day over in Australia.
Yeah, they have it on. They have Mother's and Father's Day on different days for some reason.
Yeah, they do in England. Did you mean that?
Yeah, no, but
oh, you mean
it's
Australia
different
and
days
England?
to England.
Right, sorry. I thought you meant they would.
No, we wouldn't get a look in if they were the same day.
See, this is what last night's game did to me, mate. It's made me go do lala. Right, Manchester City 1, Aston Villa 1. I'm going to get into some of those as we're going along, but I can already see some people still not happy bunnies over yesterday. I watched the game back now twice.
Yep.
Because it's really hard. When you're in a watch along, you can't hear it and you're trying to do 2 or 3 things at the same time. So I went back and watched it. What did you think overall? I mean, let's start with the team, Rich, because he changed it again from Wednesday, which is what you said he'd probably do.
But he didn't do the changes.
He didn't do what you said he was going to do.
He didn't do what I wanted. As soon as I saw a midfield that looked like it was going to be Gundogan, De Bruyne, Rodri, it's the same as we've said last season, the season before. We need one of the 3 in the midfield. And I know we kind of changed formations, so it wasn't a 3-man midfield in quite the way we sometimes play. But as soon as you have that without someone with real energy, real go in there, it's not good for us. Remember it with like Rodri, De Bruyne, David Silva, Rodri, Gundogan, De Bruyne. It doesn't work fantastic. We need Bernardo, or now I guess when he's fit, Calvin Phillips. We need one of those really energetic players in there. And I think that just set us off in the wrong place. And Alvarez, who I thought was our best player against Forest and had all the energy and pace and goal scoring we wanted, doesn't even get a look in from the bench. So it was disappointing. And I think I said on the preview, I thought we needed to rest Walker because he's 31 and he doesn't need to play 3 or 4 times a week. And from what I'm hearing today, he's now injured because,
he was injured in the first half.
Yeah, we didn't. And that, I'm afraid that's going to happen with Walker if we think we're going to play him 3 times a week. So I think that was a bit self-imposed in a way, in that we started on the back feet by picking the wrong team, probably slightly the wrong tactics, and yeah, that's how it started.
I mean, good morning to Jack, CMC, Centurions, and Adam Quinn. Good morning to you all. There's a lot of people saying in here Villa deserves to win. Totally disagree with that. Don't think Villa deserved the win at all. They had 1 shot on target.
Agree.
1 shot on target doesn't mean you win the game. Sorry. That's a load of...
What I'll flip, though, is in the last 5 minutes of the game, and this rarely happens with City, I kind of felt more like they were going to get a winner than we were in the last 5 or 10 minutes. Maybe not quite on the balance of play, but to me, we just hadn't looked that sharp. And I was a little more worried that they'd get a winner than us. So whilst I think on balance of play, possession, chances, all that, City were the deserved winners. The reality is I was a bit more scared about Villa nicking the win at the end.
I don't think any of the teams deserved to win. I thought a draw was a fair result, if I'm totally honest with you. For Villa's effort and for their tenacity. Because I'll be honest, I think that's what they had. I watched it back. I wouldn't say they had lots of quality.
No, but they put pressure. They did put
that's what I mean by tenacity and fight. Do you know what had bugged me a little bit from what I saw? A lot of our issues were self-imposed.
Yeah.
We
but that was partly
ourselves into issues.
Yeah. If you I saw a stat after the game that and this reflects what Villa did that perhaps other teams haven't done. It was saying that Rodri had the most recoveries, I think, in the Prem on Saturday, and one of his highest numbers in the last 3 seasons. So if he's recovering the ball, that means the ball's coming, over the top or through the middle to the central midfield. So that suggests he's been busier in that game, and he made a couple of mistakes. He's been busier than he would normally be, and that has to be down to the energy in our attacking midfield, allowing, Villa to get more out from their defence.
Yeah, I understand. See, I'm not quite in the disaster mode that some people are. I'm not going down the Liverpool fan road.
Yeah,
I won't.
It's an away draw. It's no,
this
no
is what I
massive
mean.
deal.
I said this yesterday. Let's not go A to Z. Let's not go from we were prime Barcelona Wednesday night to we're a bag of shit and we've took the title away on Sunday morning. Come on, this is my whole point. Let's not do A to Z. I said it yesterday for me, and I stick by it after watching it. A Pep system needs everyone moving. It's a well-oiled machine. It needs every cog to be going and manoeuvring. You can get away with it 75% with 1 or 2 cogs. But yesterday, there was 3 or 4 players that were well below par.
Yeah.
And when 3 or 4 cogs are not working in your system, that Pep system will fail. It doesn't look as
but do you think
and as clever as it does. And it's all down in tempo. I feel like I'm a broken record. Go back to the opening 5 minutes.
Yeah, but do you think that's the players not playing well, or do you think the fact that Pep hasn't put the right players? Because I've very rarely seen. I know we started this midfield a couple of games early in the season, but we played a very inverted fullbacks at low pace against West Ham and Bournemouth, who didn't really threaten anything. But I don't often see a good midfield performance by us without Bernardo and previously without Fernandinho in. We needed one of them to provide the zip, the energy. And that's what I thought yesterday. We lacked the intensity on the press. We let them get a lot of balls, and that meant the pressure was all on our centre-backs and Rodri, against some fairly mobile players. They're not the best attack in the world, but they've got energy, they're mobile. And, I just think we let that attacking midfield wasn't right. Bernardo should have been in there with Phillips not available. And, and why Alvarez? Why would you not pick the player
I keep telling you why. Because Pep's already said it, Rich. He's a young lad, come from South America, and he's going to take time. He wants him to adapt. He wants him to learn.
He played fantastically against Forest. And he had the energy and the pace and everything we needed on Saturday.
Rob kept saying this all last season. He was never going to come in and start playing every game like every fan thought he was going to do.
But he was just saying that if you play like that and you've got the intensity we need, and even if you say he didn't start, why would he?
Because he's got to get De Bruyne back in.
Yeah, why did Mahrez come on, not him?
No, that's baffling. Listen, not starting him, I understand. Not bringing him on was baffling. That was the baffling factor. They're not starting him again because this is what we said on the preview, is how you get KDB back in that team. And you can't drop Gundogan because of the form he was in. You couldn't drop Bernardo because of the form they were in. But so you're damned if you do and damned if you don't.
I think on the preview, I'd said we probably do rotate Gundogan because I think honestly, when you look at the games this week, if you're going to leave Bernardo out of a game, you're probably going to do it in Sevilla, I would suggest. You're going to need to pick the best team possible against Spurs, and you've got to do that bit of rotation in these games. I just, unless they're planning to start Alvarez at Seville, where I'd have thought Mahrez and etc. would be far more suited, then I just don't quite get. I don't get the thinking.
Yeah, no, listen, I understand what people are saying. I would have 100% probably started him. I mean, you saw me, I said I'd gone with the same team that beat Forest, But I know Pep won't do that because Pep wants to, like you said, rotate. But Pep did say, everyone go back and remember, Pep said what he was going to do with Alvarez. He's made it perfectly clear for 2 months now what he was always going to do with Alvarez. So why everyone's now shocked Alvarez is not in the team, I understand it.
Yeah.
But he said Alvarez needed to adapt. He had to get him in, and he let him to adapt. What he loved was great. I, again, would have started him. He's proved me wrong. But
yeah,
Pep
you only need that by playing, though.
Word on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, for me, you've got players like Mahrez who are going to play, in the Champions League midweek, and you need Bernardo in midfield. So you rest Gundogan, and then he plays against Seville and Spurs, or however you want to do it. But I just think we're a bit, we didn't quite pick the right team.
But look at Rodri. I mean, Alan and everyone else. I waited on Rodri yesterday, but that's the perfect opportunity for Rodri to come out and Phillips to come in. But it doesn't help when Phillips is injured all the time.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So you're stuck then. So you're going right back to where you're going with Rodri again. What was baffling is Cancelo has no right to be next to him in midfield. I'm sorry. This inverted stuff, the only thing I'd say about Pep is he becomes obsessed with things.
Yeah.
He gets in his head of, right, that worked 1 week, right, okay. Every opponent now will go with invertedness. No, every opponent's different, Pep. You don't keep throwing inverted people around and going, this is the way we do it. Yeah. I'm sorry, Cancelo looked like a duck out of water yesterday. Rodri, way off the pace. Foden just hasn't started the season at all.
Foden just played like Jack Grealish. He just went forward and then turned around and passed it back. Foden just decided every time not to drive at a player or go for it. It was a bit disappointing.
See, Patrick, Pat said it's loyal to all balls. I'm not. I think it's just what he's doing. I think he's just adapting him in. That's all it is. Listen, the thing with Mahrez, he's got to get Mahrez in. Mahrez has just signed a brand new contract. Everyone was so happy when Mahrez re-signed because Mahrez was loyal. Sterling had gone. Mahrez was wanting to fight, and now Mahrez is coming on, and people, why is Mahrez coming on? You can't keep everyone on the bench. Mahrez didn't get anything hardly on
Mahrez is a Champions League. He plays all his best games in the Champions League.
You're only playing Champions League.
I think if he started the 6 games in the next 6 weeks or 8 weeks in the Champions League, he wouldn't expect much game time in the Premier League. And I do think Mahrez is a step up in Europe compared to the Premier League. Even last season when he was one of our best players.
Listen, you can't. No football player is going to say, "Yeah, I'll just play 6 Champions League games. Thanks very much."
Well, he's not just going to play 6 Champions League games, is it? He's going to play other games, but he's going to be able to be rested for a lot of the Saturday games.
He's not signed that new contract, Rich. Sat there to be a bench player. That wasn't in his thinking.
No, but he's not signed that contract to play 72 games this season either.
Yeah, Rich, I get that. I understand that. But when Sterling went out the door and he got that new contract, in his own head, he's thinking, man, I can nail down this right and spot week in, week out.
Yeah, well, he's got to deserve it.
Of course he has. And do you know what? Yesterday he didn't deserve it. But do you know what I'm getting at? I just don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. We didn't lose.
Not, but,
I understand those bad parts. Yeah. And I'm not trying to do happy clappy either. But what I'm trying to say is we've got 14 points out of 18. We're 1 point better off than last season at the same amount of games.
I think I'm quite happy with the start and the results. I'm just really calling out that I just think, we should have done.
Alvarez is the one that's upset everyone.
Yeah, I just think we should have probably started slightly different team yesterday and kept up the intensity a bit more. But they did well at what they were doing.
Was you surprised at just 2 subs?
I was just surprised. You know, I'll be honest. I was just surprised that Alvarez didn't come on. I was.
He's going back to Alvarez. He's
Well,
not
no,
letting Alvarez go.
I was just that surprised me a lot. It surprised me that they didn't bring Grealish on for Foden. You know, a chance to, you know, do something special at Villa Park. I just don't get. I didn't get why we left Gundogan on quite so long when he's, you know, as he is. I don't know why we left Walker on when he was injured. There was just lots of baffling things.
Apparently, Walker wanted to stay on.
Yeah.
Which is bad for me because I don't understand my play.
At half time, they would have had a look at him. So that's
there was a few things that annoyed me. I mean, listen, I understand the annoyance because there was. I mean, go back to, do you remember Matty Cash getting injured in the first half?
Yeah.
And I'm sat on the watch along and I'm screaming at Foden, run at him now.
Yeah.
His hamstring's gone, run. Because it took about 3 or 4 minutes to get off, if you remember.
Yeah.
And I'm at it. Run at him. Just run at him. Take him on. He won't do anything. And he didn't. He just sort of, we didn't go down that side again. And it's like, it's little things like that that annoy me. Because we all see it as fans.
What about goalkeepers who get really, really badly injured and then suddenly 3 minutes later, they're absolutely fine?
Yeah, well, Tyrone
Mings told him
to do that. Yeah, Tyrone Mings told him to do that. Because if anyone watches, when Martinez goes down to do that, Tyrone Mings is whispering in his ear for about a minute. And then all of a sudden, flies on the floor for about 3 or 4 minutes, gets up, and then he's suddenly, hey, presto, suddenly okay again. Yeah. Listen, I understand that. That's the side of the game, Rich, that kind of comes with the territory.
It's kind of weird, and I'd love to know the maths, how the referees and the maths and stuff, because at Liverpool, they had a game where someone went down for 30 seconds and they added 3 minutes to the game. And then at City's game, someone went down injured for 3 minutes and they added 30 seconds to the game. So I'd love to know how they work out the maths in the referees clock center.
Right. Up to now, I'm trying to get a mental list. Foden was poor, Rodri was poor, Cancelo were poor, Walker was poor.
The backs were not fantastic.
Right, okay then, Rich. We ain't got that many players to replace in and out here.
De Bruyne wasn't at his best.
This is what I'm saying. I don't want to start Mahrez. Nobody wants Mahrez on anymore. We don't have this many players to start chucking everybody in and out here.
No, I don't think. I don't think it's about chucking people in and out. I think it's about.
Yeah, I've got a list here of getting off. Don't play him.
No, but that's because there's two reasons players may not play well. One is because we're playing the wrong formation and we're playing the wrong way, and one is because they're not playing well. Now, take the Palace game. I think that was tactics, not the form of the players. And when we moved things around a bit, the players started playing well in the same game, so they weren't out of form players. That's got to be, the way the team's played, what they've been asked to do, and I just thought we started at Villa with Bernardo playing on the wing, where yes, he was great helping us turn around the game at Palace, but ultimately that's not our best. We're best when he's playing alongside Gundogan or alongside De Bruyne in our midfield, and that's what won us the league last year. That's what won us the league the season before, and we've suddenly decided that that's not the way to go, and I don't agree with it.
Do you agree with Jack Lee? Worst defence in the top six?
No, I think if you look at our defence as pure out and out defence is not always the best, but that's because our defence is the back line of the offence, and that's the truth. They're spending more time training in how to start attacks than they are in how to defend. And that's how we win games, through possession, through attacking from the back. So I guess I take some level of inevitability that we won't always be as defensively solid as say a team, like Spurs or Chelsea, where they're being set up, their defence is being set up purely as a defence. So there's some level of that. That's why I'll forgive Ederson a few, stops he doesn't make over the season. But
I mean,
they're not the worst.
Can I just go? Sorry, go on, Rich. Just on the team yesterday, mate. I mean, I'm just going to get the subs up now. And I'm trying to get what could Pep have done to change a lot of it other than Alvarez. Because on the bench, you got Ake, which you brought on. Grealish, a lot of fans don't like. Ortega's a backup. Alvarez. Gomez is possibly. Then you've got Mahrez, Palmer, Lewis, and Wilson Esperand.
But so
we don't have this array of bench that everyone's thinking, for example, change.
Yeah, Bernardo into the midfield instead of De Bruyne or Gundogan. Alvarez on for Bernardo in the attacking role. And then, yesterday I thought we should have given Cancelo or Walker a rest. Play Gomez and play for Gomez to come on and Cancelo or Walker to get a rest. And those two changes, that's only two changes, and they're not, it's not overplaying players. It's giving some rotation, and I think we'd have had a slightly younger, slightly more energetic, slightly more dynamic side.
I get it. Yeah, I do see it. I understand looking at yesterday why he's brought Akanji in.
Yeah,
I can definitely see that now.
He gives us another player with pace at the back, and and we'll see what comes back on Walker. But Walker's barely been injured for 5 or 6 years, and if he's broken down quite early in the season, that could be a sign that at 31, coming up to 32, he's slightly less robust than he used to be. But we'll have to see. Hopefully, it's just a minor knock, and he's back in.
The thing is, you also got to remember. Said this. Steven Gerrard's job was on the line yesterday.
Yep.
Aston Villa weren't going to come in and just. This is what I mean about expectation and arrogance. By some, not by all.
Yeah, well, I was convinced it was so certain in our favour on Saturday that it had to be City-itis.
And this is the problem: is we're going into games expecting 4 and 5-0 every day, and it isn't FIFA.
Yeah,
Steven Gerrard was one loss probably away from P45.
Yeah,
the players had not given up. Of course, they were going to try, and if our players are at 50% rather than 100%, then it's gonna show. It is going to show. The one thing I will say is I did look at the Villa bench. And I thought, I'm not being funny, their bench looked better than our bench yesterday in terms of options.
Yeah, they've spent a lot of money. They're underachieving.
And your thing on Gomez is, again, this is Pep. He's still a young lad. He's only just rocked in. So,
but here's the thing. You don't protect Gomez from football by making
Rich.
No. Listen. If he does it by getting Walker injured for 2 months, so Gomez has to play 10 games, he's actually making it worse. So I just think we've got to be careful with Walker.
Yeah, I agree with you. No, I agree with you. But do you know what? And everyone, I saw people yesterday saying, Paul Palmer, Rico Lewis could on to right. Rico Lewis and Palmer, I keep saying this, I'm blue in the face, only come on when we are 4 or 5-0 up.
Yeah.
That's when they all appear. Go back and go through it. When we're 4 or 5 up or 3-0 up and the game's over with 15 minutes to go, that's when Pep suddenly starts rolling out the kids.
Yeah.
When it's a tight game of 1-1, don't expect the kids. Don't sit there thinking, where's Palmer coming on? Because just don't.
Yeah. No,
I accepted that a long time ago. There's some fans still won't accept it and still think this is going to happen. So, to me, I mean, at the end of the day, it's the 6th game of the season.
Yeah, exactly.
we're a point better than where we were last season. Like I said, I'm not trying to positive spin it because there were problems yesterday, but I don't think it's the meltdown that I see a lot of at the
it's
moment.
not. It's just
This is
I think
Liverpool sort of fan meltdown sort of thing at the minute.
Yeah, no, there's no need for any meltdown. I mean, let's be quite honest. We beat Spurs on Saturday. We'll all be over the moon and, saying that we're, going to be the next Invincibles again. And that's the reality of it. I think it's just that we probably should have won yesterday. Newcastle, I think fair and square, they played fantastically. They put some pressure on. We did well to get a draw, and I think we were happy with the draw. I just think yesterday, a few minor changes by Pep, 10% more effort from a couple of the players, and we'd have won yesterday quite comfortably, 1 or 2-0. And we let them put pressure on us, and we let our centre backs and centre midfielder have to recover and be a lot more involved defensively than we'd like them to, where we should be keeping the possession and pressing up the pitch and dominating in a game like that.
See, Jack, I don't get the inconsistent basis. 14 points out of 18 is not inconsistent.
No. But look how we've been very inconsistent even in games. We were,
if Jack's talking about not in being inconsistent in defence.
Well, I think it's hard. It's hard not to argue that we are inconsistent. If we play like we did against Villa and against Forest within 4 days of each other, that isn't consistent. And if we play against like we did against Palace in the first half,
I keep saying it,
second half like we did, that's not inconsistent,
mate.
Yeah, no, it's not.
If people want to play FIFA, get your PSs out and play FIFA.
Yeah.
And I'll sit
but it's fair to say we've been inconsistent. If we have been inconsistent,
Forest said that, but it's exactly what I said. You want in A to Z. If you're expecting that Forest performance every week, then you need to take your head out your arsehole and go and find another sport because it won't happen.
No, it won't. But it's still fair to say we're inconsistent. Arguably we played too well and wasted too much energy against Forest because we didn't have enough then for Villa. So it's fair to say we're inconsistent.
Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm missing something. But people said it like certain games you can't afford to drop points. What are people expecting over 100 points this year?
No, I think the league will probably be won. I think if anyone gets 90 points, they'll win the league this year. There's
96 points to play for. We have 14.
Yeah, I think 90 points will win the league. Definitely.
So I just don't understand what I understand people are frustrated. I just think we're going a bit too much the other way now. And I do think we're going into chucking the baby out with the bathwater a bit.
But no one's suggesting anything gets chucked out. And I think no one's...
Rich, people are telling me it was really bad and this place should be dropped. And
that's the nonsense you've always...
to just go, drop him.
That's the nonsense we've always had. And that nonsense will happen after every game we don't win by 3 goals. Yeah, that's the reality of it. I was
looking at Twitter today and people were blaming Edison. But look, Edison couldn't do now about that.
No, but I just think you just ignore some of that nonsense. I mean, you just got to look at how did we go? Could we have done better? If we could have done better, what would we have done?
Here's a question for you, Rich.
Yeah.
Jay Brooks asked me, we had a bit of a disagreement on this. Is the Spurs game a must win? I don't agree after 7 games that we're in must win territory.
No, I don't think it's remotely. I think if we beat Spurs, I think that's a massive marker, a bit like when we beat Chelsea last year. So I think beating whoever wins that game would get a lot of momentum. But honestly, I'd still think we'd be, if we were 10 points behind Spurs now, I still think we'd be a better than 50% chance of finishing above them. So
I think the formation played a massive thing. because I don't think you can play inverted every single week. I think Pep's found a new toy. He's like a kid, with a new toy who goes, "Oh, I want to have a go." And I think that's where he's at. He needs to change that. He needs to put a bit more trust into his youngsters. Alvarez one, Sergio Gomez another. He needs to put trust in them, because if you're not going to trust them, then you're wasting them. I'm sorry, you're wasting them.
Yeah.
Because Alvarez and probably Gomez should have got on the pitch. But it's Pep's stubbornness with the way he wants to treat youngsters. It's his stubbornness of doing it.
Or his plan for Wednesday. Who knows?
Yeah, I know. I'm just we've got about 7 minutes. We need more players. Do you see what I mean? The window's shut.
Don't need more players.
Get any more?
Yeah, we don't need more players. We just need to use the players we've got at the right times.
Oh, so you got to say about horrendous officiating.
Yeah, no, there was some absolute shockers this weekend. You
want to talk about that goal? Because I'll be honest with you, there was nothing wrong with the goal. I agree. I watched it back twice, 3 times, but the referee blew. So by the laws, the play. If you look, City play stop. Yeah. So the goal shouldn't have counted.
And if you actually
why the referee blew, and nobody knows.
Yeah,
the
if you actually watch, Coutinho started to stop, and then he let fly with the shot. He actually.
Well, Mahrez did. Mahrez just went.
Mahrez stopped. The defender stopped. Yeah, so it wasn't a goal. He'd probably put that in the top row of the stand if he hadn't heard the whistle and just, decelerated and relaxed. But it was terrible refereeing, because the referee shouldn't have blown his whistle to the linesman's flag, should he? And the linesman had actually, made a mistake. He called it offside when it was nowhere near offside. It was bizarre.
Yeah, it wasn't offside. It was a perfectly good goal.
But it wasn't. But it wasn't, because the player had stopped.
All right, mate. The whistle shouldn't have gone. That's a debate for Aston Villa to have. CM City says 99 points minimum. No chance. No chance. Adam Quinn's got 90. See what I mean? We're at 96, 99. I heard someone told me yesterday.
Not with the World Cup.
With 100 points. I'm like,
not with the World Cup.
It's madness.
All the top teams will have to rest a lot more players. And in January, February, when those teams are knackered, there'll be teams down the bottom who've had 6 weeks of training together and resting, with most of their squad available. So it's going to be a much lower scoring league than recent years.
Always borrow money from pessimists. They'll never expect it back. No, Alan, there's no meltdown here, mate. I'm just some fans are having a meltdown because we haven't won. I think we'll draw at Spurs.
I think they'll
I don't think that came. I'm not sure how genuine that was. I know Fabio said it's CM, but I'm not sure how genuine it was. I don't.
Yeah, no, I think my view is that everyone's like this today. I actually think we'll turn up against Spurs next week. I think we'll play like we did away at Chelsea last year. I think we'll have a very dominant performance, and in a week's time, everyone's going to be being over the top the other way, and we're going to be on here dampening comments about people saying we're going to be the next Invincibles.
I mean, yeah, just remember, after 6 games, we've not lost a game yet, by the way. Jay Brooks said maybe some of us have been spoiled. Yeah, I do think that's part of it. I did say this. I think there's now a little bit of the expect us to go out and win every week, and when we don't, there's a bit of a issue going on. Andy Blumen replies back saying Spout Brats is right, it was never like this before. Quite sad, really. The problem is Andy Blumen will come back to you and say it's not like it was before, it's changed. We've now got a world-class team. So See, the consistent on the defence, Jack, I agree with you. I agree with you on that, but that's down to injuries. It's down to formation. Once we get Laporte and Aki's only just come back and we get a Kanji going, things may change. But let's just hold fire on it. Can't sell anyone and we can't buy anyone now till January, so let's not panic. At the end of the day, we're 14 points out of 18. Was there issues yesterday? Yes. But Rodri would have come off, but Calvin Phillips is injured. Nothing's been said about buying Calvin Phillips, who's got major injuries at the issue. So maybe we need to, get work on Calvin Phillips on getting fit, and then Rodri can have a rest. Cancelo, that's down to Pep on what he wants to do. Walker was injured. Walker chose to carry on. He was injured in the first half. Foden is going to be inconsistent at the minute. It's so annoying and frustrating. I understand. Cancelo, nowhere near the midfield. Thanks very much. At the moment, I'd have him left back on the bench, is where I'd personally have him, and give Sergio Gomez a go. But hey-ho. Alvarez should have been playing. Prove me wrong, but Pep's too mollycoddle him and put his arm around him and treat him like a baby. So that's where we're at with it. End of the day, we're still second, 14 out of 18.
Yeah. I think that's that's the truth of it.
Office.
Yeah, everything's fine. Everything's going okay. There's no big deals. But the reality is now that 90% of the time we play someone, we're playing a team that we're better than, and if we don't win, then we're going to have...
and we're not doing post matches because there'll be a meltdown.
Yeah, we are. We're going to have a meltdown whenever we, maybe people will tolerate us drawing away at Bayern Munich or Liverpool, but apart from that, we are going to have mini meltdowns every time we don't win. And generally when we don't win, it's going to be because we've done something a bit below our standards. I know,
Rick, I just don't want to do...
That's just the way it is, and we have to live with it.
That's silly. Draw is the same as a loss, pointless.
Well, most people think our only rivals are Liverpool, and we got the same points as them. So
I mean, it's not to get a point from drawing.
Yeah, I think we may have lost a couple of points against Spurs, but I'm confident we'll beat them next week. So
listen, as I said to someone yesterday, we lost twice last year against Spurs, and we still won the league. There is no we beat Man City Cup at the end of the season. Sorry, but there's not. Anyway, we moved to Tuesday night, Wednesday night. When is it, Rich? Tuesday, Wednesday?
I think it's Tuesday, but I'm not quite sure.
We'll try and get a preview out at some point.
Yeah.
I'm trying to let you know. Keep an eye on social media. Keep an eye. Tomorrow, the Daily News in 10 will be back. That will come out at 7 o'clock in the morning. So make sure you are around for that at 7 a.m. for the Daily News in 10. Manchester City did draw with Villa. It's not what we wanted. It is just one of them things. We're not gonna win every week. We were never gonna get 120 odd points or whatever it was. That's just unrealistic. Grab yourself a copy for if you want 100 odd 20 odd points. So just enjoy it. Anyway, roll as your cap, Grandad. Alan said he wants you to roll your cap for him, Rich. I don't know. I don't know. Sorry, Jay Brooks and Andy Blumen are having an argument in the chat. Let's just all, doesn't matter. Right, take care. We'll be back soon. Keep an eye on our horses there, and we'll be back during the week. Have a lovely weekend. Don't get too down. 14 out of 18 is still good. Better than last season, and we finished as champions. See you later.
See ya.